Camping World. It's America's largest RV dealership chain with over 170 locations. Nobody else even comes close. They've had their ups, they've had their downs, but the pandemic-fueled RV boom has CEO Marcus Lemonis muscling into all kinds of camping-adjacent territory. Every week, it seems, we're getting press releases from Camping World Holdings about a new acquisition or about their dealership network expanding. So in this video, I'm going to tell you what they're up to lately, including entering the campground reservation game, accepting cryptocurrency, and more. I'm Jason Epperson, this is RV Miles, and first, let me take you back to this time 2 years ago. There was a rumor going around that Camping World was going bankrupt. It was total baloney, concocted by the president of Cheyenne Camping Center in Walcott, Iowa, who was trying to hit Camping World back for buying out his local competitor. He went on the syndicated radio show The RV Show USA multiple times, warning people to cancel their Camping World issued Good Sam extended warranties in an attempt to hurt them financially. RV Show USA helped them actually distribute PDF guides explaining to people exactly how they could cancel their warranties. And they ran with the story for months. From the number of people I saw that say they did in fact cancel their warranties, getting thousands of dollars in refunds, I'd imagine the scheme was pretty successful. I still can't believe Camping World didn't sue their pants off. Nonetheless, the rumor was successful because Camping World was in a bit of a financial mess. There was an active shareholder lawsuit over financial impropriety, and the stock had tanked. CEO Marcus Lemonis had leveraged Camping World hard in order to purchase the defunct Gander Mountain chain and much of their U.S. retail locations. And he was in the middle of relaunching them as RV/outdoor hybrid stores. It wasn't going well. Throughout the rest of 2019 into early 2020, things stabilized a bit. Plans for Gander stores were scaled back, they were streamlined, and then the pandemic hit, and people latched onto RVs as the only viable source of travel. But it wasn't just that. Hordes of baby boomers took their cue to retire during the pandemic. 70% of new vehicles sold were pickup trucks, and stimulus payments gave those who still had jobs some money to burn on down payments. Now, flush with cash, Lemonis could go on an unprecedented spending spree. Since the pandemic began, he's been gobbling up more and more independent dealers, well over a dozen by my count in 2021 alone. He has plans to plant a Camping World flag in all 50 states, and he's purchased the dealerships or the land to make that a quick reality. 5 months ago, I put out a video similar to this one, talking about Camping World's moves towards creating a peer-to-peer rental platform like RV Share or Outdoorsy, about their planned service locator app, and more. Both of those things are happening, but what wasn't clear to me back then was how Camping World was in the infancy of investing heavily into deep data analytics to win the RV selling game. If you're in any RV-related Facebook groups, you may be surprised that people actually buy from Camping World. But I hate to say that most people are actually pretty happy with their Camping World sales experience. Now, don't throw tomatoes at me, but just look at their Google reviews. Now, service, well, that's a different story. Camping World has a reputation issue that needs to be repaired, certainly, but they're not hurting for business. Pioneering the 20-year low-payment RV loan didn't hurt either. But is their competition any better? When you tell someone not to buy at Camping World, are you taking into consideration the reputation of that dealer across the street? Lots of RV dealerships are stuck in the 70s and 80s, including Camping World. And sometimes that means back to the good old days of customer service. Sometimes it means the sleazy salesman in a polyester suit out to take every nickel they can. Camping World's big sales tactic is to use its size to its advantage. They often list lower prices than anyone else for similar RVs, and they get the manufacturers to build them exclusive entry-level models. They then charge higher than average fees for the so-called pre-delivery inspection to make up the deficit. And they place the loan emphasis on payments over term and interest rate to convince a buyer that they can handle owning this thing. Forget that you'll only have paid 20% of it in 5 years. Typical dealer stuff. We should all be better about knowing how to beat this stuff, and we are getting better. But today, it's a whole new ballgame. With millions of sales under their belt and over 2 million Good Sam members, Camping World is focusing on making moves focused on leveraging data science that independent dealers just can't compete with. Good Sam members alone are worth over $1,800 a piece per year to Camping World through their roadside assistance, their extended warranties, their insurance, and more. we can expect more of those service-driven products to be the focus of the future for them because they're highly profitable. But this week, the big news is that they've jumped into the campground reservation game. Camping World, under its Good Sam umbrella, purchased Nomad Reservations, which is marketed as campgroundbooking.com. It's a high-end campground management and reservation software startup that runs about 100 campgrounds so far. A big influx of cash from Good Sam will allow Nomad Reservations to grow rapidly to compete in the major battle that's being waged between campground reservation software companies to bring campgrounds to that big scary internet thing. In the end, you and I benefit from that type of competition as more and more campgrounds will jump into the 2000s and begin taking reservations online. Competition also means lower prices, and cash investment can lead to innovation. But the data from all those campsite reservations may be worth more than the service costs to put out. So Good Sam can undercut the competition to grow this arm of their brand quickly, especially through their network of over 2,000 Good Sam affiliate parks. But is the RV industry concerned about a company like this being able to wield so much power? They own RV.com and the new RV magazine. They host most of the RV shows in the country, though those might not come back in the way they used to operate, with Camping World's online RV show being such a success this past year. They're actually pushing really hard to put RV sales entirely online, something that would be hard for anyone else to do, while dramatically expanding their hold on brick and mortar locations. And now they're even beginning to accept Bitcoin as payment for RVs. They just bought an app called Hear Here that lets you hear about history through audio in locations around the country. And they make weird and seemingly inert moves like that because they can. And it's a play to win more customers by creating a data ecosystem that tells them everything they need to know to maximize revenue, whether it's through RV sales or any of their myriad other products. So RVing is big, and it's making Camping World bigger, and that affects us all. But I think there's one piece of big data that Camping World and even some of its big RV brands are missing. It's that we all talk to each other now on this data thing called social media. Data may help a company optimize profits, but my guess is that the game will be won more and more by companies that put out quality products and stand by them. RV buyers are starting to understand everything about RV manufacturing, construction, maintenance, and repair, just like truck buyers do, who are 90% of the RV industry's customers. You can't beat a smart, informed buyer with statistics. Either Camping World needs to become that dealer, or dealers with that mentality need to stop selling off to big camping. Let me know what you think in the comments, and we'll see you on the next video.